Hello, this is psychicpodcasts.com. I'm Psychic Sahar. In this podcast, I interview author Jewelle St. about her recent book, Jude, which is a moving story about her past life reincarnation as a Jewish woman in Auschwitz in the 1940s. I hope you'll enjoy it.
Jewelle, welcome back to Psychic Podcasts, and would love to talk to you about your new book, Jude, My Reincarnation from Auschwitz.
Hello, it's my pleasure to be back.
Your new book is about your past life, which was during the Holocaust. Why would you write a book about a past life in the Holocaust?
Well, my first memories of the Holocaust started at age 10. I read a pocket book.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the 1960s. I lived in Canada in the middle of nowhere, really.
Right.
We weren't exposed to anything. And after reading the little pocket book, I was obsessed. I was obsessed and compulsed to read all I could, which really wasn't very easy back then. But through time, I watched the black and white newsreels that we all watched on TV.
Yes.
I read everything I could. But not only that, I started to have reactions to certain people, German people actually, German men, that triggered things that didn't make sense. But finally, at about age 23, I said, that's it. I've had it. And I consciously had to make myself turn away from all of that. As time went on, as you know, I found my other past life in Sussex.
Yes.
The Holocaust life kept showing itself.
Right.
In between the levels, sort of the subconscious levels of our lives. It kept showing itself. And, I can't remember exactly what day or why I knew I had to write about my past life in the Holocaust. I believe that all baby boomers, or most of the baby boomers, have come from that era.
Right. That's interesting.
Actually, it was reading Rabbi Gersham's book, Out of the Ashes, that gave me the courage to write my own story. I never would have had the courage or the understanding of what was happening without reading his book.
Oh, it's lovely, yeah.
I mean, he's been a pioneer. He is a pioneer in this whole area of Holocaust victims returning en masse into the baby boom generation.
Oh, that's interesting, yes. Thank you for mentioning that. So when did you finally realize that you had lived a past life as a Jew?
I didn't actually realize 100% until I arrived in Poland. Very interesting. That was 1 year ago today.
Really?
That I visited Auschwitz. Yeah, very timing for this interview.
That's amazing.
And yet, in saying that, I've always known it since age 10. But the reality of it didn't hit me until I actually made the trip. And, I tried to sabotage the trip many times. Even after booking it, I tried to get out of it. I didn't want to go.
No, I understand that. It's almost like subconsciously stopping yourself. But when you say you kind of knew it when you were 10, what do you mean? Was it memory, like visual memories, or how did that represent itself?
I'm not really sure, because I can't really remember the details, only that when I read this book, I had...
It seems familiar.
I guess a memory of a camp with a fence, and it was brown, and people were walking all hunched like the Walking Dead, like zombies. And that wasn't described in the book, and it took me probably till only a few years ago, when I watched the Auschwitz anniversary films, that those were the memories I had as a child. So, the books that I read as a child, they didn't have pictures in them, photos. There were no photos in them. I don't even know how I got these books. Like I said, we lived in the middle of nowhere. Our only library was a little library in our classroom at school.
Yes.
Anyway, that's another story.
For a new book? Was it difficult? I mean, since you landed in Poland a year ago, was writing the book difficult?
Once I got home, the actual writing actually spilled out in 37 days. It was written in 37 days.
That's incredible.
It is. I have a friend in the United States named Jewelle St, and she helped me. She got it out of me.
Yes.
Without her help, I wouldn't have done it. It's like she was sent to me to do this.
To encourage you, yes.
And I had tried to write it actually a year earlier, and the depression, I became so depressed. The material was so heavy. I literally threw it up on a shelf, and I said, I can't do this. It was just overwhelming. Yeah.
So
once I went to Poland, it came out.
And then since then you just sat down and it was done. This emotional kind of, when you discover that you've got another pattern or another lifetime, or that you're triggering rather another pattern in this lifetime, in your search while you're writing the book, did you find any similarities or people or family members who you knew then and you knew now?
Yes, I found a few. All of them were very shocking to realize. One was a friend from Petworth in England, and her memories actually mirrored my memories.
Really?
It's a long story. I mean, it's in my book, but her memories actually verified my past life, and it makes sense to me now why I keep returning to Petworth. I mean, it's my past life home, and I love it, but I was returning to heal with certain people. That was the final realization of that. And yes, I saw one or two family members that were with me, and a few friends. Yeah. And these are through different processes, doing Reiki, past life regression. Various times I would see more snippets of what happened, what occurred.
Oh, that's interesting. So during the healing sessions, you would actually experience or relive memories from that previous life?
Definitely. More than relive it. I can't even explain. I'm speechless again. I'm back there.
Yeah.
When we visited Auschwitz and Auschwitz-Birkenau, it was like I was there, yes. But even though I'd already written a book about a past life, I still didn't really understand how our souls, we just change bodies. And, I've been probably preaching this for years, but for the first time I understood. I understood
That's interesting, yeah.
Everything is one within us. Everything that we've experienced is with us.
That's right. And it's incredible. And it's incredible also that people that you've met in your 16th century life, which is the subject of your first book, All You Need Is Love, are also part of your past life in Auschwitz.
It was incredible. And now I understand why I had to, well, I didn't do it. The universe, created it. Created the circumstances that I would have to go back to England first. I would have to go back 300 years first before I could come forward to 60 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what really blew my mind, that, it's all just mapped out for us, isn't it?
Yes.
We kind of like connect the dots. We just have to follow, and we have to trust our instincts where it's leading us, and it's amazing. I guess it's like going to the doctor, and he tells you what you have to do, and you may agree, you may not, but in the end, hopefully,
yes.
He knew the cure for you, and I feel the universe does that with us.
And what was it like? How were you affected when you visited Auschwitz?
Oh, I was just terrified to go. I spent 2 days there. 1 day by myself, 1 day with my sister. As soon as I arrived there, within a few minutes, I started to smell things. And I actually stopped a man, and I asked him first if he spoke English, and he did. And I said, what is that smell? Like, what is that smell in the air? And he said, well, what kind of a smell? And I explained it, and he said, there's no smell. But he said, maybe it's for you.
That's amazing.
Isn't it? I mean,
yeah, it gave me goosebumps.
he could have said anything like,
yes, yes.
"Foolish woman, there's nothing in the air."
Yes,
you know?
he didn't discount that.
It just went on from there. I would smell things, and then when I went to Birkenau, which was the second camp, I actually was walking into the camp, and it was November, so there weren't too many people around. But I was walking into the camp, and I found myself amongst a group of people, and I walked with them, and then I looked, and I realized they were Jews. They were Jews from Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the most profound experience for me. I thought I'd arrived back in Birkenau exactly how I arrived there 60 years ago with Jews.
Amazing.
Yeah. And they're kind of looking at me like, where did this
come from?
Where did this little lady come from, you know? It was incredible.
Jewelle,
whole process.
Would you say that process is healed? Would you say that lifetime you have healed?
I honestly don't know. I think I'm still in the process of healing. Writing Jude was a process in itself. I honestly can't say if I've healed or not.
Right.
I've healed a good portion, yes.
Yeah.
Completely?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Because you've explained earlier that sometimes we trigger the same patterns without realizing why. And
right.
Yes, and you've mentioned that we do that in order to heal something. And very often I get the feeling that we also reincarnate with people whom we did so before.
Right. And it's all about healing, isn't it? I believe all the situations that we're put into are about healing.
It's about healing, and I would say it's really about love. I mean, without love, it's the gel that holds everything together, isn't it? Disconnectedness, interconnectedness, being part of one, really.
A great man did say, love is all you need.
And, of course, our listeners can listen to your first podcast, which we talked about, All You Need Is Love, your first book. Is there a website for your new book?
Yes, JewelleSt.com, and Jewelle is Jewelle. StJames.com.
And it's one word.
Yes.
Jewelle, what does the future hold for you? Do you have any idea what is it that you'll get your teeth into next?
No idea whatsoever. I don't know. My reason for writing Jude actually does verify to me that I was Jewish in my last life, that I died without a voice. And this is my own soul's way of having people remember all those people and all those people that have reincarnated that will not write their stories. I've heard a lot of stories from people that have stories similar to mine. So right now, I feel honored to be able to just have people remember.
Yes, and bring that forward.
Holocaust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jewelle, lovely talking to you, and I hope you'll keep us updated with your new project, and I wish you all the success with your next book.
Thank you, Sahar.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.